Yeah, I guess the minimum wage should be increased. This is the podcast. You guys try to figure out the answer to this.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, the minimum wage should be increased.
This is weird. Can I
jump
pick
into
something
it.
out of your
Yeah,
beard?
go ahead. Go ahead, try it again. That might not happen. Do it again.
I guess.
I had your whole hand in my mouth.
I know. You didn't get that on camera, did you?
I bet there's a frame where your whole hand is in my mouth.
I think it was just these.
I can feel 2 digits at least.
So I'm here on the street at Astor Place, and I'm next to
Steve.
Steve, and Steve's going to be asking some questions for the Sad Money Boys. So, what are some of your financial red flags? Do you have any?
Yeah, any numbers that don't end with at least 4 zeros, I think is sort of a red flag.
So, if a person doesn't have 4 zeros at the end of their bank account,
What are you doing and why? Yeah, I think that, I think more is better when it comes to finances.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. Have you dated anyone with less than 4 zeros?
Yeah, I'm currently engaged to someone who I believe is under 4 zeros. But I'm a red flag kind of guy. I'm a Chinese communist red flag flying guy. So red flags don't scare me none. But that is a red flag, yeah.
May I ask you, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm an inheritee, which means my dad croaked. But he worked and I don't. But I do work, but for myself.
Okay, so remote work doesn't really apply to you at all.
It's all remote, baby.
So do you agree with remote work, or do you think people should be back in the office? What do you think?
I think it's good for people to be around people. I think people probably suffer when they're by themselves, Also, I don't know. Honestly, what do I think about that, about remote work?
Do you think they should split time, or do you think it should everyone should be back in the office?
Yeah, I think people should be back. I'm going to take a firm stance. I think people should be back in the office. What does the company afford you if not a space to work? You're supposed to rent out really your own apartment and call that a workspace? That's fucked up. Or you should get paid more if you're going to work from home. That's what I think. That's my big opinion.
I like that. That's a good opinion. Let me ask you, you don't have any student loans?
What?
Do you have student loans?
No, I don't have any student loans.
So do you believe that student loans should be forgiven, or do you think everyone should have to pay them off?
Depends on the student.
The amount of debt, or just...
There's a lot of people out here. We were going to make sweeping generalizations. Case by case, just like everything.
So is it by the debt, or is it actually by the student? Like if they did well in school or well in life, or...
Well, I think the system is sort of answering that way. Like if you're doing well in life, you're sort of forgiving your own debts in a way. But yeah, I don't know. I think that what would be good for everyone would be, I guess, technically to forgive all these loans, I guess. But then again, how do you do that? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
Does anyone you know suffer from student debt loan?
Yeah, my bequeathed or betrothing, my wife to be has student loans, and a lot of friends have student loans, and I don't know.
Okay, so let me switch up. Let me ask you a different question.
Yeah.
What was the worst job you ever had?
The only job I ever had was working I was a busboy. And then also I worked in animation, and I was a sound guy once too. And the busboy was the worst job.
And do you feel like you got paid enough for the job?
No. No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
So do you think the minimum wage should be increased?
Oh my God. Do I think the minimum wage should be increased based on my busboy experience for 4 months? Yeah, why not? I don't know. If I answer yeah to all these things, it sort of comes down to just like printing money, doesn't it? Yeah, I guess the minimum wage should be increased. This is the podcast. You guys try to figure out the answer to this shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, the minimum wage should be increased.
What about?
But the amount of people who are allowed to work should be decreased. Ah, what about that, you know? Some people, it should be illegal for them to work.
What people do you think it should be?
Where it should be illegal for them to work?
Yeah.
People who look like me? No. People, it should be illegal for, well, it should be it should be one of two things. Either people who have too many disabilities, they shouldn't be allowed to work, or people that don't have literally any disabilities, they shouldn't be allowed to work. That big fat gray area, that should be the, you know what I mean? They should be supporting the entire economy on their shoulders.
So there's a minimum wage. Do you think there should be a maximum wage where you can only earn this amount, nothing above that?
If you do that, you're going to pull this. I mean, what are people really striving for? I mean, if you really cap this thing, I mean, isn't everyone just going to lie in bed? I know I am, and I don't even, you know what I mean? I mean, if you put a ceiling on, you know, what we're all sort of yearning for, then, you know, that sort of pulls the steam out of this whole engine, I fear. But I guess so, yeah, maybe enough really is enough. It depends. Depends on the guy.
So it depends on the guy to think what is enough. Well, what's enough for you?
Enough for me? Yeah. Enough is what I got, which is I got $1 million off my old working man, and if I stretch this thing out, I could live. I got about 20 years before I really got to figure my shit out. So, I mean, that's enough for me. What would be enough for everyone?
Yeah, that's good enough for you. I mean, how do you work your money? Do you invest it? Do you have a financial advisor?
Yeah. I don't touch any of it. There's a guy who's doing all that. So it's really like I get like an allowance.
Well, you get an allowance every month, week?
Every month, yeah.
Yeah.
I got an email say, "Will you please send me $5,000?"
You have to ask someone.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could demand. I get the emails could go, "Give me $5,000," but you know, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be decent to the people I haven't met who have control of my money.
Okay, and do you take any of your own money? Have you invested it in crypto or anything along these lines?
Yeah, I took $30,000 out of that million. I put it in OHM. It quickly evaporated. I have $1,200 left, and I don't even know how to get it back because it's staked, which I don't understand what that even means. So basically, I just pissed away $30,000. But it was a good lesson. It was like, hey, listen, don't fuck around with this shit. You know, there's professionals who are doing that, and why not let them have it? It seemed like everyone was getting overnight money, and I wanted to be a part of the party, but you know what I mean? There's no such thing as a free lunch. Well, there is technically, but don't be greedy with it, you know what I mean?
Because you already had a free lunch.
I had a free lunch, and I wanted a free a second lunch or a side or something like that.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
And so your money, the $1,200, you don't know how to get it out, or you don't want to get out. You're just like,
why don't we want to get it out? Because I guess when you pull that out, then that solidifies the loss. So it's like, I have the 1,200 there as sort of like a marker, like here lies 30,000.
Yeah. Oh, like was it epitaph?
Like
or grave?
epitaph,
yeah. So let me ask you. Okay, a lot of people talk about billionaires. Do you think billionaires are good or bad for the economy? Would you like to be a billionaire, or?
Of course I would like to be a billionaire. Do I think they're good for the economy or bad for the economy? I don't know. I mean, a guy who has $1 billion, I mean, he's probably growing that money, which means people are probably eking out a living around that money. So in a way, it creates sort of an ecosystem, but are they good for it? I mean, no, because they also, you know, the thing does both, doesn't it? Like a person with $1 billion is kind of, you know, creating, you know, people can create a living around that, but also having $1 billion, you're probably, you know, competing and pushing other people out of. I don't really know.
Do you think the government should tax billionaires more?
Do I think the government should tax billionaires? Yeah, I do. I think that. I mean, look. I have a friend who got a bonus of $1,500. for a year bonus, and the government took half of that. They had to pay $700, so they barely got $1,000 for a year worth of work, which is, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But then, I don't do any reading clearly, and I'm not going to start now. But I believe that somebody who goes into a higher tax bracket is paying less than whatever the math of 700 to 1,500 is. You know what I mean? The ratio is a little bit lower. I'm sure there's a lot of words I could be using that I'm not to make this clearer, but you know what I mean? You guys asked me to do this, not the other way around, so don't think that I elected to spiel about this stuff. I would never say this in a regular conversation because I know that I'm an idiot. So you guys are shaking me by the ankles. Don't think I'm doing a handstand here out of my own volition, but you go ahead.
I was going to ask you about affordable housing. Where do you live?
My housing is affordable.
Yeah. Do you think that there should be more affordable housing? Do you think that, so there's a program in California where if you build it's called a ADU, which is that additional unit that people build in their backyards, that the government will build one for you as long as you allow a homeless person to live there.
No. See, that's throwing it at people. Listen, nobody wants to have a homeless person living in their backyard. Homeless people don't even want that shit. Everybody, that's what you just said is crazy. They should, listen, while there's offices and hotels and shit that are so empty, obviously no one should be without a house. I'm not going to do anything about that, but someone else should. But I don't think it should be thrown on, I don't think people should have to have a fucking free house on their property where, you know what I mean, where some stranger who might have whatever. Look, even if the person, I'm not saying, but even if you were to say you got to have a fucking random person just live in a shack in your backyard, that would be kind of a nuisance, I would think. But I think there's plenty of space to put people, but I don't think what you said I don't think that's nice. I think they should put homeless people in old hotels or offices or something like that.
All right. So this last two questions, basically, which is so you said you have enough money, you're good. Money doesn't stop you from having kids, does it?
Yeah, it does, because I got a thing where I have not made any money. I just sort of lucked into some. Yeah. So I don't have any belief in myself as an earner. And what that tells me is that see, it's almost like a trap to be, I'm not complaining, but my situation is where I don't have any need to know if I can earn, and based on that, I have not earned. So that tells me I'm not in a spot where I should make more people, because I'd just be a middleman between my dad and the kid financially. So until I earn money, I'm not going to have a kid, because I don't feel like that makes, I don't know. I don't want to be look at the kid and be like, you should really get a job like I didn't, because, you know what I mean? I'm not in any position to teach anyone anything.
So you think couples should discuss money before they have kids?
Yeah, of course. Couples should discuss everything. Money is a huge thing to discuss. You should discuss money before you go to lunch with somebody.
To see if they can split the check, or?
Oh yeah, just to discuss money.
Yeah.
It should be all out in the open. Transparent. I think there should be more transparency.
Transparents, or?
Yeah.
Like transparents, parents who are trans.
Let's keep it financial.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that I didn't realize until this that I don't really have strong opinions, or I don't have very well thought out opinions.
About money, or just in general?
In general, but especially about money.
Well, the earning thing was interesting, about how you said you feel like, well, I'm not an earner, I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely not an earner.
But you're a keeper at least.
What do you mean?
Well, you're able to at least keep your money, and
But I'm slowly hemorrhaging it out. I'm getting rid of it.
Yeah, but at a slow pace. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people would have lost it all before then.
Yeah, maybe addicts. Maybe addicts would have gotten rid of it. But I'm not I'm a keeper. But in the long term, I think I'm a get rid of. I'm a spender. A spender. Yeah.
There's this book called Less Than Zero, where Die with Zero, where he kind of teaches people to die with no money because at a certain point you need less money as you get older. Do you believe in that philosophy, or have you heard of this philosophy?
It's just that guy, the Hawaiian Vietnam vet, the rich dad, poor dad guy.
No. This guy is he's actually a black billionaire.
What?
Yeah.
He says you're supposed to get rid of money.
Well, you're supposed to die with zero because otherwise it means you didn't enjoy your life.
Well, I mean, that sounds right. Yeah. Spend it all, before you go in the grave.
Yeah. And don't even worry about leaving it to your kid, or leave them something, but use it to enjoy yourself, because you only have a certain amount of time to do certain things and enjoy yourself.
Look, the best things in life are free.
Such as?
I couldn't name anything. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean that's not a very sophisticated. Yeah, I mean that's like It's like I'd rather be a good liver than have a good liver kind of mentality.
Let's be honest. It sounds like a black billionaire would say this, doesn't it?
How did you get the billion? Not thinking like that, right?
No, but I think he started saving more and more and more, and then when he got older, he realized that I missed out on a lot of experiences. Like he was supposed to go to his friend went to Europe when he made like $1,500. And he was like, I was just always saving and saving and saving. And then one day his boss spoke to him and told him, like, you're going to be making more money than this, so you should try and enjoy it while you can. Right. And he's right. As you get older, you genuinely, most times, I guess, you make more money than when you did when you were 20 or 21. I mean, you were a busboy when you were how old?
I was a busboy, but just for a summer.
Well, you haven't done that in how long?
I haven't bust my dishes in 10 years. But what does that mean? What does that tell you?
Well, you're moving out of. Well, you're a rare case, but you're not even having to bust your own dishes. So it means you're not doing the things you had to do 10 years ago.
But I didn't have to then. It was sort of like a role play type of thing then. The thing is, what you're looking at is stagnancy. But that's because there's no need to appreciate, and I don't have anything causing me to depreciate, so it's just going to be stagnancy. You know what I mean?
I get
not
what
in a bad
you're
way.
saying.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But it's just stagnant, plateau.
You never know. Maybe you'll get more money. Maybe another relative will pass away and give you more money.
Got to poison them all. Yeah, maybe. No, I mean, honestly, on that note, I mean, my mom is also like a wealthy white lady, and she's in her 70s. So around the corner is another chunk of change.
There you go.
But I mean, I'd say that I don't feel good about that.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? I can't. It would be dishonest to leave that out. So, I don't know.
So you were telling me about how you receive your money and allowance, but it's like, why do you always have to email her? Why can't she just deposit the money regularly? Because you need it every month.
Honestly, that's something I need to bring up with Christine. I don't know why it's not automated or whatever, but in a way it keeps me sort of vaguely in touch with what's going on, just like vaguely part of the action. Like my emailing, like, can I get 5K, keeps me, I don't want to say accountable, but like very, very, very loosely in touch with my own expenditure.
So it's for you, really. Hey, you see all the emails added up at the.
Yeah, none of this is on purpose, but it does. I guess, yeah, the faucet's not on. I gotta at least twist the knob. Is keeping me kind of in touch with my own spending.
So it's like when you go to the bathroom and have those motion sensor ones.
Right.
But yours is the one where you hit it and it kind of like slowly comes back up.
Yeah. What do you mean slowly comes back up?
There's the ones in the airport that they used to have.
The flushers or the sinks?
The sink. And you hit it, and you have a certain amount of time to wash your hands before the pressure releases back up. Is that what I'm trying to analogy?
I got one of those ones, yeah. I got an old analog sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the digital.
Financially,
I got the analog thing.
Do you think in the future you will
just keep it, make it automatic?
Yeah, not ruin, but get rid of your relationship with Christine?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I spend all the money, I will have ruined my relationship with Christine. I don't think we're going to keep emailing if I don't have $1 million or I would imagine that this relationship will hopefully go on longer. Maybe I don't have it on automatic because I need the human
Connection of saying, hey, could you
yeah.
give me this money, because you really don't think about it as your money. You think of it as like, okay,
It's not my money.
but it is your money.
No, but it's my
But he's not
technically
here.
my dad's. I know, but
It's like if my dad gave me his boots. It's like they're not his boots anymore. Or like when you go to a thrift shop and they go, this belongs.
No. Don't go thrift shop.
Yeah.
Your dad's boots. If your dad died,
Yeah.
if you had his boots, you would every time you put them on, you
I
go.
would think those are my dad's
Those
boots.
are my dad's boots.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So you think that's my dad's
To
boots.
me, I'm like, those old dusty boots
Yeah.
are yours. They're on your feet.
Yeah.
Because I never met your dad.
Yeah.
But to you, you go, these are my dad's.
I get what you're saying. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Perfect analogy. I totally understand. Dead dad to dead dad, I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah. My dad didn't give me $1 million. He gave me boots
I'm sorry. But
to pull myself up with.
those are your funky boots, man.
Can you say Sad Money Podcast?
Sad Money Podcast. That's what this is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, thank you.
You're welcome.